Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alex, Senior Account Executive at GDMFX with your European session outlook. We're going to start with the North American markets. We have the retail sales ex altos month on month 0.3% worse than expected at negative 0.1%. Retail control 0.6 worse than expected at negative 0.3%. Industrial production month on month 0.6% worse than expected at negative 0.4%. And capacity utilization 0.3% worse than expected at 76.5. The rout in commodity and equity markets are the main reason investors decided to also take a look at the yen, seeking out the perceived safety of the Japanese currency. Disappointing retail sales and manufacturing data from New York region added to selling pressure on the US dollar. The Dow Jones was 40 points down and the Nasdaq 135 points down. The Dixie is at 99.08. USD CAD biggest mover, 200 pips down. USD Swiss franc is 42 pips down, and the USD JPY is 125 pips down. I need to mention that this is a 1-year low. Today is the Martin Luther King Day, so it's a holiday, no events for today. From the EU markets, we have the EU trade balance, which came out better than expected at 22.7 billion. We had big movements on the indexes. The DAX 30 is 430 down. The CAC 40 is 180 points down. Some of the more major movements on the currency pairs for the euro were against the British pound, 130 pips up. Against the Australian dollar, 380 up. Against the Canadian dollar, 280 up. And against the New Zealand dollar, 140 up. There will be an interest rate decision from the European Central Bank on Thursday that we will be looking forward to mainly this week. Alright, on to the UK markets. UK stocks dropped sharply Friday, sending the FTSE 100 to its lowest close since November 2012. The FTSE stumbled 1.9% to close at 5,804.10. with the mining and oil sectors posting some of the steepest losses. The move pushed the British blue chip benchmark to a 1.8% drop for the week, which left the index without a weekly win this year. We'll mainly be waiting on events on Tuesday and Friday from the UK markets, with inflation data the main highlight for tomorrow. Alright, on to the Asian and Pacific markets. From Japan, we had industrial production year on year come out 1.7%. The previous was 1.6%. The month-on-month data was also 0.1% better than previous. And we also had the tertiary industry index month-on-month, which came out worse than forecast, negative 0.6. The previous was 0.7. Earlier today, Bank of Japan Governor Haruhiko Kuroda repeated the recent outlook that the domestic economy is likely to continue recovering moderately despite slowing growth in emerging economies. He also repeated that the Bank of Japan will continue with aggressive easing as long as it is necessary to achieve and maintain its 2% inflation target, he said. The Bank of Japan will continue to monitor both upside and downside risks to economic and inflation conditions and make adjustments as appropriate, Kuroda said. In the coming week, investors will be awaiting data on Chinese fourth quarter growth amid concerns over the outlook for the world's number 2 economy. In the Pacific, we had Tier 2 news, the Australian securities inflation month-on-month data. It came out 0.2% better than expected. And better than previous, and the year-on-year is 2% better than the previous of 1.8%. The Aussie had big movements downward. Some of them are against the US dollar, 140 pips down, 170 range. Against the New Zealand dollar, 170 pips down, 210 range. Against the Swiss franc, 170 pips down, 230 range. Against the JPY, 240 pips down, 320 range. Today, we're going to be expecting from New Zealand the business confidence. Alright, the last sector for today is the commodities. Prices showed little reaction after an industry research group, Baker Hughes, said late Friday that the number of rigs drilling for oil in the US decreased by 1 to 515 last week. Despite the declining rig count, US production levels remain near record high levels. Gold had a range of $21, trading at $1,090 now. Silver had a range of 36 cents at $13.93 now. Crude oil had a $2 range at $29.94 now. Natural gas is trading at $2.06 at the moment with a range of 7 cents. Thank you for the attention, everybody. My name is Alex. I will see you next time. Goodbye.